You are loaded onto the ship like cargo, not a person. The wood creaks beneath your feet as rough hands shove you forward, and the metal door slams shut behind you with a finality that feels like a coffin being sealed. The inside is dim, damp, wrong. On the wall, painted in ugly red strokes, you see the mark, Human Auction Transport Number 17. The smell hits you next, a choking mix of dried blood, seawater, sweat, and rusted chains. If hell had a scent, this would be it. Around you sit dozens of others, each broken in their own way. A fishman with a cracked dorsal fin, eyes swollen from beatings, two pirates stripped of their Jolly Rogers and pride, chained together like animals. A small group of villagers, still wearing the clothes they were captured in, eyes blank, hearts somewhere else. Even a former Marine deserter, staring at the floor as if the answers to his choices were hiding in the metal. No one dares to speak. No one dares to cry. Even breathing feels like it might get you punished. That silence, it's heavier than the chains around your wrists. A thin, shaking man beside you slowly turns his head, his voice barely a whisper. We're being taken to the Sabaody auction house. If you're lucky, you'll die before the bidding starts. His words hit you harder than any punch ever could, but you don't reply. You just tighten your jaw and stare at the iron floor, trying desperately to remember the color of the sea back home. 3 days pass. 3 days of darkness, hunger, and the ship rocking like it wants to throw you off the edge of the world. Then, without warning, the hatch above you slams open. Blinding light floods in. Laughter, cheers, clinking wine glasses, voices dripping with arrogance. You shield your eyes as silhouettes of well-dressed men look down at you like you're nothing but livestock. Hands grab you, drag you. You stumble up the ramp and onto a polished wooden stage. A Den Mushi camera blinks its little eyes at you, broadcasting your humiliation directly to the nobles of Mary Geoise. You can practically feel their smiles from across the world. On your chest, painted in thick black ink, is the number 47. Just a number, not a name, not a life. A product. The auctioneer steps forward, tipping his ridiculous feathered hat as he grins. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, a healthy young human specimen, strong build, obedient temperament, perfect for labor, or perhaps a bit of entertainment for your weekend gatherings, The crowd erupts into laughter, amused by your suffering. Some even lean forward, hungry like predators admiring fresh meat. Your hands shake, your legs tremble, but you don't break, not yet. The auctioneer raises his hammer. The nobles raise their cards. 6 million, 6.5, 7 million. Clack! The hammer hits the stand. Sold for 7 million berries to Saint Roswald of the Celestial Dragons. Applause fills the hall like a twisted celebration, but you don't hear the claps anymore. All you hear is your heartbeat. All you feel is the chain tightening around your neck, because deep down, you know the truth. This isn't the end. This is the beginning. Your holy life in chains under a monster wearing the title of God. The moment Rosward signs the purchase slip, the guards don't even let you stand. A Marine grabs your chains. A holy knight pushes your head down. Your new life begins with a command. Move. You're dragged out of the auction house, past shattered glass, crying slaves, and the smell of gunpowder still hanging in the air. Nobody looks you in the eyes. Nobody helps. You're nothing now. A government convoy waits outside. No cheering, no talking. Just boots and silence. You're thrown into a line with other newly purchased slaves. Long arms, fishmen, humans, even a giant child with broken shackles. The long journey begins. 2 things follow you the entire time. The weight of your steel collar, the invisible fear of being owned by a celestial dragon. The gondola stands before you, just like you heard in whispers. A massive bubble elevator, silently floating up the side of the red line. The guards shove you inside, the doors close, and for the first time, you rise toward the Holy Land. The ocean shrinks below you, clouds drift past the glass. No one speaks. If anyone cries, they do it quietly. A woman beside you whispers, "Once you reach the top, you never come back." The guards do not deny it. The gondola door opens. Light hits your eyes instantly. Everything around you is white. White stone floors, white walls, white towers, white pathways that feel too clean for the kind of evil that lives here. The silence is unnatural. You can hear your own heartbeat. Rows of armed guards stand at every corner. Tall gates rise above you like giant jaws ready to swallow you whole. This is the place the world calls the center of humanity. But for slaves, it's the final stop. A guard forces you to kneel. From behind the gates, you hear the familiar sound. Footsteps, slow, heavy, entitled. The gate parts just enough for you to see a glimpse of a world you should never enter. A shining courtyard, marble pillars, chains hanging neatly on the wall, a slave being used as a human chair in the distance. Then a voice, Saint Rosward, your new master. Bring it in. The gates open wide. Your chains pull tight. You are dragged across the white stone floor, into the place where hope doesn't exist, into Mary Geoise, into the home of the celestial dragons. The moment you pass through the first gate, the atmosphere changes. The air feels heavier. The guards escorting you don't speak. They don't need to. Everyone knows where you're being taken. You walk through wide, white corridors, identical and endless. No color, no warmth, just the echo of footsteps and the faint clinking of slave collars in the distance. Up ahead, a giant archway comes into view. Beyond it lies the private estate of Saint Rosward, one of the ruling families among the celestial dragons. Rosward's mansion looks exactly like what you'd expect from a Tenryubito. Pure white walls, golden trimming, giant pillars, a long staircase with 2 slaves kneeling on the bottom step. More guards than you've ever seen in your life. The slaves on the stairs don't look up. They stare at the ground, hands on the floor, backs straight. They've been kneeling there so long, they barely move. A guard pushes your back. Down! You join them on the cold stone, kneeling, facing the ground. Footsteps, first slow, then louder. You recognize the cane tapping on the floor. Saint Rosward, his breathing is heavy. You can hear the rustle of his extravagant coat as he steps closer. Then, without warning, his cane slams the ground right next to you. Look up. You raise your head just enough to see, only enough to obey, not enough to be disrespectful. Behind him stands a girl with dirty blonde hair, Shalria, Rosward's daughter. Her eyes look at you like you're a bug she might step on. Shalria points directly at you. Father, this one looks weak. Make it crawl. You heard her. Hands on the floor. Move. Your knees scrape the stone. Your palms burn. But you crawl. Every step you take is surrounded by laughter from Shalria and silence from the slaves who watch you with empty eyes. The guards don't even react. To them, this is normal. You're dragged across the floor and brought into the mansion. Inside, shiny marble slave-carried furniture, chandeliers, slaves kneeling in every corner, guards monitoring every move. Everything looks expensive, but everything feels like a prison. Rosward stops at a hallway lined with chained slaves. This will be your section. Serve. Stay silent. Don't think. You're pushed into a dim corner room, barely a storage closet. No bed, no blanket, just a cold floor. Your first morning in Mary Geoise doesn't begin with sunlight. It begins with a kick to your ribs. A guard unlocks your door just long enough to bark, "Up, now." You follow the chain of slaves moving down the hallway, all silent, all bent forward, all staring at the floor. Nobody talks. Nobody dares look around. If you lift your head too high, you feel a sharp tug on your collar. A warning. You're assigned to the main guest hall, where the Rosward family eats breakfast. 2 slaves lie on the floor, motionless, being used as footstools. Another kneels beside Rosward's chair, acting as a table for a teacup. A guard whispers, "Stay perfectly still. If you shake, they'll hit you." You kneel beside a tall pillar, holding a tray above your head. It's heavy, but you can't lower your arms. Your muscles burn. Your spine hurts. Shalria walks by and taps your cheek with her shoe. "Don't move." You don't. Outside, Rosward decides to go for a walk. That means he wants a human to pull his personal cart. Today, that human is you. Your knees dig into the stone path as you crawl forward with a harness attached to your collar. Rosward sits comfortably while his daughter and guards follow behind. The only rule in Mary Geoise is simple. Never question a celestial dragon. A sudden shout. A slave somewhere nearby collapses, too tired to stand. You hear the guards? He slowed down. A crack of a whip. Another. This is normal here. Slaves are punished for things like walking too slowly, breathing too loudly, making accidental eye contact, dropping something, crying. Every punishment is meant to remind all slaves of one truth. There is no mercy in the Holy Land. Your hands shake as you pull the cart harder. As the sun sets, you hear something worse than guards. Footsteps, annoyed, impatient, childish. St. Charlos, Rosward's son, the monster who once shot a man for blocking his path. Charlos looks at you like a kid staring at a toy he doesn't want anymore. He grabs your chain. Crawl faster. I'm bored. He tugs hard, choking you. Your vision blurs. He laughs. To him, it's a game. To you, it's survival. Hours later, your body feels like it's been torn apart. You're dragged back to the slave quarters, a row of small rooms with no beds and no light. You collapse onto the floor. Your hands are raw. Your knees bleed. Your throat burns from the collar. From outside, you hear distant footsteps, muffled screams, chains clinking, a guard yelling at someone to shut up or die. You try to sleep, but you know the truth. Tomorrow will be exactly the same. And the next day. And the next. Because this is Mary Geoise, and nothing changes here. Your day begins exactly like every other. A guard drags you out to the courtyard, where St. Rosward relaxes under a shaded seat. Except the seat isn't a seat. It's a living person, a slave forced on all fours, trembling, barely breathing. Rosward doesn't even look at them. He sits down like one sits on a normal chair. He waves toward you. Kneel beside me. When this one collapses, you take his place. The slave beneath him shakes. His arms give out. And thud, he hits the floor. A guard pulls him away like trash. Your collar tightens. It's your turn. Later, Rosward decides he wants to show off his new purchase. That means one thing, a leash. A chain is hooked to your collar, long enough for you to crawl behind him like a dog. You don't walk, you crawl. The stone burns your knees. Your palms scrape on the ground. Rosward strolls casually through Mary Geoise as nobles and guards pass by. Nobody reacts. Nobody shows pity. To them, you're not human. You're an accessory. At noon, you're chained in the open air, along with several other slaves. You're back against a pillar, hands tied, the sun directly above you. It's a common punishment here, for being slow, for being weak, or simply because the Tenryubito felt like it. You're not allowed to sit, not allowed to talk. Flies land on your wounds. Your legs shake from exhaustion. A guard casually eats an apple while watching you suffer. To him, this is just another shift. In the evening, Rosward hosts a small gathering with other nobles. Slaves are lined around the hall like decorations. Some kneel with trays on their heads. Some are forced to lie flat so nobles can rest their feet. Some hold lanterns. Some bow endlessly without moving. A celestial dragon guest walks past you and points. This one shakes too much. A guard hits your back with the butt of a rifle. You freeze. Your body stops trembling, because trembling is a mistake here. A fatal one. One of the slaves nearby, a thin young boy, suddenly collapses. He's too hungry, too tired, too broken. He whispers, I can't. Before he finishes, two guards grab him by his arms and drag him away. You never see him again. Slaves don't rest in Mary Geoise. They disappear. After hours of standing still, your legs finally give out. You fall to your knees. Rosward frowns, annoyed. Another useless one. He doesn't call a doctor. Tenryubito never do. Slaves don't get medical treatment. They don't get bandages. They don't get help. If you collapse, they replace you. If you're injured, they discard you. Your body is just a tool, and tools don't deserve healing. You return to your dark corner of the slave quarters. Your knees are raw. Your throat is bruised from the leash. Your arms burn from holding trays all day. You curl up on the cold floor. There's no blanket, no water, no food. Just the faint sound of someone crying 2 rooms away, and the louder sound of a collar exploding somewhere else. You don't sleep. You just wait for morning, because tomorrow the horror repeats, and the celestial dragons never get tired of cruelty. Tonight feels different. The quarters are unusually quiet. Even the guards walking past the hallway seem bored. You lie on the floor, exhausted, staring at the crack in the wall. Then, a whisper. Tonight, we try. It's the same older slave who has been beside you since the day you arrived. His voice trembles. He knows the risk. He knows the outcome. Everyone does. But hunger and pain change people. Even the hopeless start dreaming. When the guards change shifts, the older slave moves. He lifts a loose stone from the floor, something he's been weakening for weeks. Behind it is a small gap leading to the outer corridor. Not freedom, just Less chains. He gestures to you. Follow me. Quiet. You hesitate. You've seen what happens to escapees. You've heard the sounds, collars beeping, bones hitting the floor, guards dragging bodies. But something in you wants to believe, so you follow. The corridor is empty. For a moment, there is silence. A moment where the world feels normal. A moment where escape seems possible. The two of you run, barefoot, weak, desperate, toward a service gate. You can see the outside courtyard. You can see the open path. You can almost breathe again. But then, beep. Your collar emits a sharp, high-pitched tone. The older slave freezes. His face goes pale. No, not now. The beeping gets faster. Your heart sinks. Just like the slave in Sabaody. Just like the nameless slaves mentioned in Reverie. There is no countdown. No warning. Just boom. The blast knocks you backwards. Your ears ring. Your vision goes white. You crash against the wall. When your sight returns, what remains of the older slave lies motionless on the floor. His collar is gone. His body doesn't move. He didn't escape. Nobody ever does. Footsteps thunder down the hall. Torches, rifles, shouting. Escape attempt! A guard grabs you by the hair and slams you to the ground. Another presses a rifle against your back. This one didn't explode. Return it to the rotting room. You're dragged across the floor, through blood, through dust, through the place where hope died. The next morning, St. Rosward is informed of the incident. He isn't angry. He isn't even annoyed. He's curious. Footsteps echo down the hallway. Slow, careless, entitled. The guards straighten instantly. St. Rosward enters the slave quarters. He doesn't look at you like a person. He looks at you like something broken he forgot he owned. Rosward tilts his head. So, this is the one that tried to run? No response is expected. None is allowed. He lifts his gun, not in haste, not in rage, but with boredom. A single shot rings out. Your body collapses onto the cold stone, lifeless before you even understand what's happening. Rosward doesn't flinch. He turns to the guards. Clean this up and bring me a new one by evening. He leaves. Just like that. Your life ends not as a tragedy, but as a minor inconvenience. The cleaners arrive moments later, scrubbing the floor where you died, as if you were never there at all.